This is a video for a Honda Civic 1.8iX. The car's a 2006 registered car. The private plate on the car is staying with the vehicle. Vehicle's covered 57,000 miles, so it's a lovely low mileage example. Benefits from an amazing service history. It's got 10 service stamps now in the book. We've just serviced the vehicle. So really lovely service history. Last MOT there was no advisories at all. What's nice about this car, it's a bit different from most. It's in this beautiful red, but it's fully colour coded, as you'll see when I go around the car. I'll turn the car around in a second, so obviously I can do the both sides in the sun for you. So we come around the front of the car. Got generally really lovely condition. There's obviously going to be a few little stone chips on the car, and this is no exception on that. But they're minor ones and can be easily touched in. But there is a couple there. Lenses on the front are all good. There's no cracks in any of those at all. If I go to the back of the car first, so I've got my shadow out of the. So down the side here, you see there, it's absolutely mirror smooth. It really is lovely condition. Rear wing is absolutely unmarked. Rear tyre, absolutely tons of tread. Looks as though it's brand new on there. Alloy wheel, I can hardly see a mark on there anyway. Where there's a minuscule little one just there, but that's about it. But the panel work down this side is absolutely superb. As you can see here, just to come back a second, these wheel arch trims are normally black and contrast to the car, but these have been colour coded red, as has all the other parts, including the handles of the car. It looks really lovely job they've done on the car. Go to the front wing, front tyre again, tons of tread, absolutely unmarked alloy wheel. It's in stunning condition. Right, with the car turned around now, hopefully you can see better on this off side of the car. Again, the back of the car is pretty much unmarked there, can't really see anything. Parking sensors are fitted and do work, and they're colour coded to the car itself. Again, just coming down nice and low, you can see just how crisp and clean this side of the car is as well. It's in wonderful condition. Sit down here a little bit, squat down, alloy wheel on the back, tyre again, fantastic condition there. You couldn't fault it. So all the panel work here looks really crisp. Wonderful looking car. And finally, last wheel, it's again tyre absolutely spot on, and alloy wheel unblemished. And just to come around and pan back to this, you can see just what a good looking car this is. It looks absolutely fantastic. Okay, so just briefly, whilst I'm in the car, I just want to reverse back slightly, and then hopefully you can hear out the parking sensors beeping away, which is when we get close to the wall, which they are. So they are all work good and well. Okay, so coming into the boot area of the car, just put it in the shade now, so there's no bright sunlight on it, which can distract a little bit. Parcel shelves all there, good and intact. All the fabrics in the back of this absolutely enormous boot are in wonderful condition. You've got your power outlets up there, nice and high, so that gives you access to all sorts of things you can attach to it. In the Civic, it's got this lovely deep sort of hidden recess in there as well, so you can actually lower and improve the boot size by about 6 or 7 inches. On the back there, you see the back of the seats, the back of the rear seats rather, really lovely condition, and also you've got your 60/40 fold in those as well. So just going to the back of the car now, show the rear door card, all in very good order, silver trim's really good. I've got the seats up in their vertical position in the back, which is a part of this really clever magic seat design. That then allows you this enormous space behind the seats here. But it's all in absolutely fantastic condition back here. It's been really well kept. Just go through other door card. It's not quite so easy to see with the sunlight, unfortunately. Just drop the seats down, just pop that up, drop it down, and it's all beautifully engineered as you expect from Honda. Really tons of leg room, and you've got the seats in absolutely fabulous condition. Right, just coming to the front of the car now. Driver's door card here. This is probably the only real sign of wear on the car, to be honest with you. You've got a little bit of wear on the silver trim here. It's only tiny, it's just where rings catch on it every now and again. But other than that, generally very good. Sill area looks really nice. Driver's seats in very good condition. They always are. I mean, they can take massive mileages, these things. and front passenger seat, again, equally fantastic condition. Okay, so in the car now, engine is running on the vehicle. Just to quickly show you down here, just to say we've got the full owner's manual pack for the car, and the lock and wheel nut set for the car is all good and intact. Plastics inside the car in really top order. Whoever's had the car has kept this car in really lovely condition. Sat nav system, you can see there, all fully functional, map showing, really lovely system to use. Big easy controls on there, which I'll show you on the road test afterwards. All the plastics down this centre part in absolutely superb condition, very well kept car. Coming over now, we've got this wonderful two-tier dashboard, high up display, main cluster below it, brilliant to use, much safer than the normal ways of trying to take that information in. No warning lights on the car, engine is running as you can see. The only warning light showing is obviously the low fuel light there. Coming down here, obviously push button start, and you've got your electric wing mirror and window controls. Just to show you, electric wing mirrors, the electric folding on these versions as well, and all work absolutely perfectly. I love this dashboard. Part of it is this multifunction steering wheel, really nice and easy to use. You've got your audio system up here on the left, audio controls rather, cruise control on the right, and then on the bottom section of the steering wheel you've got your information display on the right, and voice activation for Bluetooth on the left hand side there. But inside the car, genuinely in absolutely wonderful condition. So finally, coming under the engine bay of the car, and just to let you know, the video picks up the noise of the engine. It's nothing like as noisy as it sounds on the video. It's incredibly quiet actually. Really nicely presented engine bay on Hondas. This engine is famed for, you know, being able to cover massive mileages with amazing reliability. It's a lovely unit, very quiet, very smooth, and unbelievably economical. Well, this is a video for a Honda Civic. It's a 1.8iX version. Car's registered C14DNB. Obviously that's a private plate, and that does come with the vehicle. This video should follow on from a walk around appraisal of the car, which shows the exterior and interior of the vehicle. The purpose of this video today is, as we're now selling to people from all over the UK and the near continent who are coming to buy our cars, we think it's the least we can do if people are going to invest time, money and energy to come and see us, that we can at least do an appraisal of the car to ensure that if you're going to come and see this particular car or any other cars you see on our videos, then at least you know that if there's any issues with the car we can tell you, but we can assure you obviously they drive exactly as they should in each individual case. Mileage on the car currently is 57,902 miles, and obviously this is the manual car, as you can see, and this is the very car that you saw on the appraisal prior to this video. What I try and do on these videos is hopefully do it in a similar order to what any prospective buyer might do when they come to see our cars, and look for the obvious things first and foremost. Obviously the appraisal shows the condition of the car inside and out. With regard to, first of all, I'll start with the engine. Fantastic engines, they really are these. This is absolutely typical of the breed in the sense that it starts absolutely on the button every time, settles down to an incredibly quiet idle, which doesn't fluctuate. Engine pulls absolutely beautifully, very quiet, very smooth. I mean, the Honda's four-cylinder engines are, without doubt the best in the world, not just in terms of reliability, but in terms of kind of the character of the engines. They do build brilliant engines. So it produces the power, the economy is fantastic on them. You're looking at a very easy, and we are being deliberately pessimistic when we say sort of 40 to 43 to the gallon on these. I have driven plenty of them and averaged very close to 50, if not higher than 50 to the gallon out of them. But we claim, what the manufacturer says about 43, and unlike a lot of other manufacturers, you actually will get it. So this engine, you won't fault it. It's a beautiful engine. There's no warning lights on the dashboard related to the engine or anything else apart from just the fuel light to say I'm low on fuel. Obviously the engine then drives the clutch and the gearbox. The clutch is light as a feather, exactly as it was when it was, it feels like it was when it was new. It has a lovely biting point. It's exactly where it should be with the pickup. It's got a very positive bite on the clutch as well. The clutch pedal operates without any squeaks or clicking from the pedal, so it's utterly silent. It then goes through this really lovely 6-speed gearbox. I'm in 6th now at 54. It's just a little flick of the wrist to get it into the gears, and it's an absolute joy to use. Honda, you know, not only do the best engines in the world, in my opinion, they do the best gearboxes in the world. Again, not just for the reliability, but the quality of the gear shift you actually get on the car. And it selects all the gears perfectly, very slick in every one of those gears. Again, you won't fault anything in the drivetrain of the car at all. So if you're coming to see us, you know, there's no hidden horrors. I'm now going at the legal limit. As you can see here, I'm just going on a slight curve, so I'm not going to take my hands off the wheels, don't worry. Now, there's no tremors, no wobbles. It tracks bullet straight, no deviation from the dead ahead. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely direct steering rack on the car. Very positive, very quick, and there's nothing that comes back through the steering wheel that shouldn't be there. It's got a really nice feel to it. It feels like new. It's just in fact, sorry, I'm just going to see if we can find. Unfortunately, the traffic's pretty rotten on the other side, so yeah, I mean, yeah, there's no wear that I can detect through the steering at all. There's no sort of clonks or bangs from the suspension underneath. It all rides very, very nicely, very smoothly. There's nothing there at all that should concern you. They've got a lovely precision to their handling. It's, you know, it's a really dynamic car in a sea of, you know, pretty good but ultimately quite dull cars. So when you're going through a corner like this, it's just a tiny little turn of the steering wheel, holds its line really, really nicely. So be conscious of the fact that I know the traffic's going to stop in a second, so I've got to be a little bit cautious here. There we go. But yeah, it's just a really, really, really lovely, positive chassis to drive. Everyone knows it. That's why people buy these Civics. It's a very dynamic car. The brake pedals solid right at the top. There's no shudders or vibration, which would suggest sort of distortion of a brake disc, or grinding, which would, you know, suggest low brake pads. We obviously checked that prior to the car being sold anyway. But it is a reflection of just how well this car's been looked after. I mean, it's been beautifully serviced. The car was delivered to us, you know, literally minutes ago. So this is the first time I've been out in the car, but they're always driven to us, and the chap that drove it well over 100 miles to us was eulogising about just how nicely the car drove. So it's not even been valeted. So what you're seeing inside the car now is the condition it came into us, which is really, really lovely condition. Given the fact the car's coming up to 10 years old, you'd rightly expect it to have signs of wear in the car, but looking on the main dashboard here, I can't really criticise it. The glass perspex, or the perspex rather, on the dashboard is unmarked, and sometimes they can be marked where people have used abrasive cleaning agents on them. Generally the plastic, they've got a tiny bit of wear on the edge of the gear lever there, where obviously someone's had the hand, which is the natural place to place your hand on the gear lever. And looking around at everything else, I really can't say. There's a bit of wear on the door here, just on the silver panel again, where you brush your hand against it. Apart from that, you know, you'd be have to be very hard on the car to find any great criticism of it, to be honest with you. I say in the previous video that, you know, the dashboard, I absolutely love this dashboard. The reason I like it is typical Honda. It's really stylish in a world where normally speaking you just get a binnacle here, center stack here, and it's just a variation on a theme. With the Honda, you've got something which is actually interesting to sit behind and look at, and especially at night when it's all lit up, it looks fantastic. But in essence, it's designed to work and work well. Some lovely features to it. Obviously, you've got this 2-tier dashboard, so you've got a really lovely high up speedo readout, and the reason for that is that instead of having to sort of tilt your head slightly to take in the reading and trying to assimilate that information, I can just look at that speed and take that immediately in my head. There's just a slight movement to my eyeball to do it, no rocking of my head up and down to do it, it's just there. On either side of that, you've got a little rev warning there as well. On the left hand side, so when you get close to the red line, as in a kind of a race car or a Formula 1 car, then it goes up red as you go up the rev range. On the right hand side, you've got what they call an econometer, which is basically just an indication to say you're driving very economically. So if you're on the motorway doing obviously legal speeds, as we all do, you can see just how efficient you're driving the car at that time, and it does make a difference. Then down below that, we've got the main binnacle. It's again really nicely done. It's kind of like a hologram effect. It kind of comes out towards you. You've got a lovely big sweeping rev counter, which again, you can take that information very quickly. Either side of that, temperature gauge and fuel level light, and in the middle of it you've got an information display system which you can operate from the steering wheel here, which tells you things like how much fuel you've got left, your current MPGs, that kind of thing. You've got really nice high up sat nav system, an absolute doddle to use. They're really lovely. Just use this big button here. You have got voice activation for things like that, but I never use it, I'm going to be honest with you. Radio, the main menus here are really simple. You're not pressing buttons and going into sub menus. It's very, very simple to do. Climate control down just fingertip control, fingertip distance away. So it's really, really nicely done. But if you're coming a distance to come and see us, I can absolutely assure you, you'll be driving a very, very, very fine example of an utterly brilliant car. It drives really tight. You don't fit. Sometimes you get in a car which may have done a lot of town driving or just not really been cared for that well, and they have a kind of a looseness, an age about them. Whereas I could jump into a 3 or 4 year old one with similar mileage to this, and it'd feel exactly the same. It is that nice to drive. Just to come to a couple of other little things, obviously steering wheel, you've got multifunction steering wheel, again really nicely done. Audio on the left, cruise control on the right, information here, and Bluetooth functions there for any compatible phones. But everything I've pressed thus far on the car works absolutely perfectly. As it says in the previous video, it's got parking sensors, colour-coded ones, which work absolutely perfectly on the car as well. But no, I can't fault it. If I've missed anything out on either this or the previous video, I do apologise. Do feel free to give us a call, any questions relating to the car. But rest assured, if you're coming a distance, you can do so with confidence.